All right, what's going on YouTube? In this video, I'm going to show you how I grease up my garage doors so they work a lot quieter and the parts should last a lot longer. So if you start hearing your garage doors make a lot of squeaking noises, maybe you ought to just look at them, or maybe just try to do this maybe once a year, once every couple years, depending on how dirty your garage is or how dirty a road you live on. Some of the things that I'm going to use, you may not need all of these, depends on how bad they are or what they look like. I'm going to use my shop vac. I'm going to maybe I have an old sock or some paper towels, a rag. You're going to want to use some white lithium grease to do 99% of the greasing that we're going to do here. And you may need some WD-40. I don't think I'm going to use WD-40 on anything. And I wouldn't use this on the bearings, all the different spots on this garage door. So I wouldn't use that, but it will work good to clean some of this stuff. And I may use a toothbrush for some of this too. And you may need a ladder and some eye protection. All right, first I'm going to use my shop vac. Before you start cleaning or greasing anything, you may want to either unplug your garage door opener, or you can just unhook this right here. Pull this, you're going to pull this handle down if you have a garage door opener like this, which 99% of them are the same way. Pull this down and I can unhook that. That way if somebody would accidentally come home, they don't open my garage door up and like pinch a finger or hurt you. Or now I'm going to use my shop vac just to clean out around where these eyes are, your safety eyes on your garage doors. Make sure they keep working good. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to try to vacuum out some of this. And I'm going to use my toothbrush to like maybe scrub some of this dirt off and vacuum that out. Some of these rollers are pretty dirty. And maybe I'll vacuum up here real quick. Right up above my garage door, I'll vacuum out. And I'm gonna vacuum off my torsion spring. If you have a spring like that, you may wanna just vacuum that off and clean that up. Mine's pretty dirty from sawdust. You could have a torsion spring on the front of yours too. On my one side I have it on the front. On the other side I have it in the back, just because this ceiling is really high. This ceiling is really low. So let me do that real quick. All right, after you get everything all vacuumed up and cleaned up as good as you can, take your white lithium grease and we're going to grease up all the rollers. There's ball bearings in there. We're going to grease up all the hinges and any pivot point we have on this garage door. And I also have a couple pulleys I'm going to grease up. I'll show you where everything's at. So we're going to grease up. Now my rollers have a ball bearing inside there. You can see how, if you look in there, well, you probably can't see in here, there'll be a ball bearing you can see. Now some of them won't have any ball bearing. If they don't have no ball bearing, I would just try to clean that up as good as you can and clean your track out. But we're going to put some white lithium grease in here. That moves there. Maybe it's a little bit down in here, and some inside there. All right, you're going to do that on all of them, all up and down both sides, and also maybe put a little white lithium grease if you have ones in the middle of your hinges that are in the middle here. Let me do that. All right, after you get all those hinges and your ball bearings greased, I'm going to put my garage door up and down just to work that in a little bit, and then we'll go on to the next part. All right, I'm going to spray a little bit of white lithium grease right here with this arm bar. This moves a little bit right here. Can't hurt to put a little bit on that. Wipe that down a little bit. And also right here on your garage door. I don't know if you really need much there, but can't hurt. And then this bar up here, this piece right here slides back and forth. So wherever you think that's rubbing on, you should clean that off and maybe just put a real thin coat of lithium grease on a rag and wipe it on there. You don't need a lot on there, because there should be plastic inside this that it rides on. But I would just, cleaning this off is probably the most important thing. And if you have a belt, just wipe that belt down. Don't put any grease on that. It doesn't need grease. If you have a chain, take a rag, spray some WD-40 on a rag, and just wipe the chain off. So I'm going to do that. Just wipe that off on top, because it looks like it rubs there. And mine looks like it rubs a little on the bottom. Some of these are shaped a little different, so you got to look at yours and see where this piece is rubbing. Oh, I should move this before my wife opens this up on me. Wipe this down at the same time. My belt. This is just a clean rag or clean paper towel. All right, if you have any pulleys like this, because you have a torsion spring, just like I have, or you have some extension springs, which would probably be right here, hanging right here. You can just clean them springs off, but you're probably going to have a pulley like that. Grease inside them pulleys, right in here, where the bearings should be. All right, now I'm going to put some grease on top of my torsion spring, and at the end of my torsion spring, I have some bearings inside there that cable winds up on. One there, and one right over there. I'm going to grease them up. Wipe that down. All right, when you're putting your lithium grease on your torsion spring, if you have one, I suggest trying to put it on the top, so that way it will try to soak down through. There, it's better. Take that little, whatever. If you have the other kind of springs, just clean them off. All right, now I'm going to take some WD-40. I'm just going to spray it on a paper towel or a rag and try to clean out inside some of these tracks. I know they're dirty. Now you may only have one track. I have two tracks here because this is on a low ceiling. My garage door on the other side only has one track. All right, let's see what this is sounding like now. That's a lot quieter. All right, let me just do a real quick recap of everything I cleaned and greased on this, and I'll try to point out some of that stuff on my other garage door, which is a little different than this one. All right, I put a little lithium grease right in here on the bearings for the rollers. So I did all them, and I did these hinges in the middle. And I did this pulley. I did the pulleys on both sides right here because I have a torsion spring because of my low ceiling right there. You might have pulleys if you have extension springs in between here. So do those pulleys. And I put some grease on my torsion spring. I greased up my bearings right here. And I greased up the bearing on the other side. And I cleaned my belt. And I cleaned off that bar up there that this piece right here slides on. And I vacuumed around all my eyes. There's a little eye right here. I didn't do this door yet, but on this door, the only difference on this door is my torsion spring is up in the front. So I'm gonna do the one in the front, clean that. I guess the only real big difference on this door is I only have one track instead of two tracks. And my torsion spring is on the front, and I don't have those pulleys like this on this door. Well, I hope this video helped you out in greasing up your garage door and making it a little bit quieter, I hope, or making some of your parts last a little longer. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. God bless and have a wonderful day.